Hi everybody, it's Mike Andrew once again providing a short video with practical insights as it applies to business and leadership. Today I want to add on something beyond practical, and it's simple. Keeping things simple. I've learned this the hard way, believe me. It's so important. We deal with enough complexity at work that I find the brilliant people are those that can take the complex and make it simple. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to former colleagues that went out on their own, started a consulting practice, and I'd say, well, tell me what you do. And 10 minutes later, they're still explaining it. I'm not getting it. I mean, how do they sell that value, that service to clients if they can't explain it in one sentence? You know, Albert Einstein once said that if you cannot explain it to a 6-year-old, then you really don't know it enough yourself, and I think that's true. Think about boards of directors. You know, they get together once a quarter to get caught up with an update on the state of the company. They have one day to do this. They cannot afford people coming in with complex, detailed presentations. It doesn't work. They need things kept at a high level, structured, organized, simplified. When I was an advisor to some of the boards in a previous company, one of the things I would do is to evaluate the effectiveness of the board. How well was the board working? And when you add it all up, it was probably at least 2 weeks of doing nothing but evaluating the effectiveness through one-on-one interviews with the chairman and the board members and online questions, getting all that data and information, analyzing it, synthesizing it, putting that mounds of paperwork together. So when I presented to them after all that work, evaluating the effectiveness of how well the board is working, 1 slide, 3 bullets. 1 slide, 3 bullets. They loved it. Now, of course, I had backup. You know, I did talk about what the board's doing well and what they could do to be better, but that 1 slide really hit home, and we had a big discussion just on that 1 slide. It always worked, and they appreciate that. Even today, I mean, how many times do you see people at work, you know, they might have 45 minutes to give a presentation, yet they have 30 slides. Stop that. 30 slides, 45 minutes, and some of those slides, you've seen them, they're so busy that we're spending too much time trying to read the slide and analyze the slide that we're not listening. So just keep things simple. Minimize slides, make the slides simple to read, you know, just a couple of points on the slide, but really minimize the slides, keep it simple. Some other techniques around structuring, organizing, and keeping things simple. At McKinsey, I did some work at McKinsey. They used to have a process called looking at the situation, complication, resolution. It's a way of structuring, organizing in a simplified way. Situation, complication, resolution. Another way to say that, by the way, I like this one, the what, the so what, the now what. Structure, organize, simple. And then there's the old classic, tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them you told them. So in other words, tell them what you're going to tell them, the objectives, tell them, and then tell them you told them, the summary. So just a couple of techniques. I used to work in a previous company. We used to meet as an executive team once a month, and we'd be discussing different issues. And as we were discussing issues, I would write down 3 points I wanted to make, 3 bullets. And my colleagues would laugh at me after the meeting and say, how do you do that, Mike? Well, I got to tell you, I learned the hard way. I'll explain how I learned the hard way. But when it was my time to talk about that issue, I would say, there's 3 things I want to say. Bing, bing, bing. 20 seconds, done. And they would laugh. They say, how do you do that? Because some people would talk 10 minutes and you get lost in what they're trying to say. I did learn the hard way because earlier in my career, I had a tendency, if someone asked me a question, I'd give them all this detail, all this context until I finally gave the answer. And I could see them going like this, come on, tell me, just tell me. Someone was good enough to give me feedback. Now, I still fall into that habit every once in a while, but I've learned a lot about how to simplify things and be succinct and direct when I have to be. So again, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you probably don't know it enough yourself. And there's a saying that knowledge is the process of piling up facts. Wisdom lies in the simplification. And there's the old story that someone was once talking about an organized logic information system. And what he meant was the phone book. Keep it simple, okay? And remember, every time you speak, you are auditioning for leadership. So structured, organized, simplicity. And my classic, the one I'll end it with this one, General George Patton, American general from World War II. There's a story about him screaming on the phone, saying, I don't care what this logistics crap is, just get me some. So keep things simple. You'll find that people will listen more, and you'll be more effective, and you'll distinguish yourself. Take the complex, make it simple. No more 30 slides for a 45-minute presentation. That's not simplicity. Thank you for listening. If you like what I have to say, I always love the thumbs up or comments. I looked at them all. I read them all, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.